भर्गो देवस्य पंचवटी भगवान की जय। भगवान शिव की प्रार्थना नमन करेंगे। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम प्रभुं प्राणनाथं विभुं विश्वनाथं जगन्नाथनाथं सदानन्दभाजं भवद्भव्यभूतेश्वरं भूतनाथं शिवं शङ्करं शम्भुमीशानमीरे गले वृन्दमालं कन्नडसरे प्रजालं महाकालकालं गणेशाधिपालं जटाजूटगङ्गोत्तरङ्गे विशालं शिवं शङ्करं शम्भुमीशानमीरे मुदामातरं मण्डनं मण्डयन्तं महामण्डलं भस्मभूषाधरन्तं अनादिव्यपारं महामोहहारं शिवं शङ्करं शम्भुमीशानमीरे ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव मंदिरी श्रोतागण, सभासद, भाई बहनों, सबसे पहले मैं भगवान शिव शंकर के चरण कमलों को नमस्कार करता हूँ। भगवान के असीम कृपा से हम लोग इस पवित्र तीर्थ पवित्र मंदिर में उपस्थित हुए हैं और मैं आप लोगों को एक हार्दिक स्वागत करना चाहता हूँ इस कथा को, इस मंदिर को, और आशा है कि हमारा जीवन सभी सफलता बनेगी और सब अज्ञानता, विद्या, दुख, क्लेश इत्यादि सभी दूर हो जाएगी। Dear Shrotas, dear Pandits, mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, indeed, it gives me great pleasure once again this evening to extend a very cordial welcome to all of you joining us on the fourth night of the 7 sessions of Katha. We thank the Lord for this opportunity. We thank our shrotas as well, who have made enormous sacrifice to host us for this entire week, whereby as pilgrims we will come to this pilgrimage to take this sacred bath in these sacred waters of the Leelas and pastimes of the Lord. Indeed, it's a great fortune for all of us to find the time and energy to make a sacrifice and to be here night after night to bask in the glories of the Lord. We pray that may Bhagwan Shiva's blessings be bestowed upon all of you and your respective families as well, to remove whatever hurdles there may be along the way, and to bring about all that is desirable, all that is conducive to peace and to supreme bliss in our lives. Once again, on behalf of our shrotas, I extend to all of you a very hearty, cordial welcome here tonight to the Sri Trimurti Bhavan and to this Katha taken from the golden pages of Sri Ramachand's Palace. And tonight we have my mother joining us here for the first time for this this week. Please give her a nice round of applause. She's traveled a long distance to be here. You know, when you're over 60, you still have your mother alive. Consider that a very special blessing. Not too many people are so fortunate. So I think I am very fortunate to be able to still have her around. And she's going to be, God willing, 86 this year. So she has come a very long way. Been here to this one year, many more years. Well, there's one thing for sure, one undeniable fact, and that is, that if not been for her, none of this would have been existing today. This Trimurti would have been existing, because I wouldn't have been existing. That is not been for her. So she is the root of whatever achievement we made here over the years. So that indeed in itself is a tremendous blessing. And you know, you have to honor your mother, your father, while they're still around. After they're gone, you know, like our Mataji and Pitaji, these children did their duty while they were alive, and also posthumously, and they are the recipients of the tribute from his family. And the best time to honor them while they're still around. Acknowledge the sacrifices they make, the contributions they make in your life, and express your gratitude for that. So we are indeed very blessed. All of us here tonight, the fourth night of this Yagna. How you put your hands together for the shrotas. These 3 ladies here. You know, I really admire them. I admire them. They had to be 3 because there's 3 murtis. There's, you know, not there's 3 murti. So we do things in 3. You know, you have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva 3. Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati 3. So these 3 ladies are representations of Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. All 3 you see sitting here in live in person. And you know, they come from different abodes, different parts of the country. One from Georgia, one from Washington State, and one from Pennsylvania. And these 3 Devis have come to be here for this entire week. And I look at them, and they're smiling, and they're making the sacrifice, not eating salt and all that, away from everything, stay away from all these types of food, and making the sacrifice without complaining. And you know what it entails. And for not only for 1 or 2 days, nowadays you do from yes, for 3 days, and you complain it's too long. For an entire week. And your sacrifice is prior to this week as well. So, isn't that wonderful? So, and the reason why they're doing all this, the reason why they're doing it, is not because of the blessings of mother and father. Because what they're doing here is what our mother was doing when she was alive. So they're just walking in her shoes. And I'm pretty sure those souls are very, very happy and rejoicing to witness what you're doing here this entire week on their behalf as well. So my dear brothers and sisters, welcome again. Today is Thursday, and today is the day of Bhagwan Shiva. And as I mentioned, our Mataji was also a great devotee of Lord Shiva, like all of us. You can't help but remembering on Shivaratri night when she would be here, and she would be here. The last Shivaratri, she was here all night until the next morning. And she found the time and energy to get up and dance as well during the course of the night when we were worshipping Lord Shiva and singing Lord Shiva bhajans. I don't know if you can remember, those of you who were here when she was last here for Mahashivaratri. And other functions also for many other occasions she'll be here. She's indeed a true devotee of Bhagwan Shiva. So tonight's discourse will be on the greatness of Lord Shiva. Now, last night we looked at this virtue of love taken from the Ramayana. And we compared the devotee we spoke about, Shabadi, to our Mataji. We saw so many similarities in their lives. Tonight, we shall look at another aspect that our Mataji possesses, and that is our faith in Lord Shiva. As we examine these pages of the Ramayana, we should examine, and when we talk about faith, there are many devotees in the Ramayana who had faith in Lord Shiva, including Sri Ram. But above all these devotees, my dear brothers and sisters, one female devotee who stands tall when it comes to her faith in Bhagwan Shiva. And she is none other than Parvati herself. So we shall examine the scene from the Sri Ramachandra Balkan. We shall go through these beautiful narrations and see what we can learn from tonight's discourse. We shall begin by glorifying Bhagwan Shiva in this kirtan. Om Namah Shivaya. Many brothers and sisters, on the Hindu calendar, this festival of Mahashivratri has assumed a lot of importance and popularity over the years. In fact, one of the nights of the year where every mandir is filled to capacity. And simply because of the devotees' love for Lord Shiva. There are many people in the world who revere Lord Shiva indirectly, without even knowing. When you look at the epithets of the Lord, his various manifestations, and the role that he plays in the universe, my dear brothers and sisters, there is not a tiny particle of the creation of the world where Bhagwan Shiva is not present. Shiva and Shakti are inseparable, and they represent the proton and the electron in the nucleus. So from the most minuscule to the macroscopic, to the macrocosm, when it comes to the creation, you'll find Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati Shakti present. In fact, life itself is a combination of these two energies, the male primordial energy and the female counterpart. Now, one of the names of Lord Shiva is Yogeshwar. Yogeshwar means the Lord of Yoga. And it is not by accident and no surprise that throughout the world today, yoga is being marketed wholesale. In every single country, Now, all these fitness clubs, they have these yoga classes. You have yoga studios. The whole world has gone yoga. What's the origin of it? Yogeshwar. Who's Yogeshwar? Sadashiva. Sadashiva. So if anyone would ask, well, where this yoga came from, that's the origin. Lord Shiva. All those who practice this yoga and believe in the effectiveness of yoga, indirectly, you believe in Lord Shiva and you believe what he stands for. And and Parvati Ma, she's very fond of calling Lord Shiva Yogeshwar. Parvati Shiva ji se bole, Parvati Shiva ji se bole, Neelakanthi Yogeshwar. तुम किसकी पूजा करते हो, कौन है वो परमेश्वर? You know the reason why these ladies were dancing? You know why? Because when their mothers were alive, they were dancing to these songs right here in this mandir. So it brings back a lot of fond memories of their Mataji. Both our Mataji, I remember him till that day as well. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, we're looking at the devotion and faith of Mother Parvati as a devotee of Lord Shiva. And this sets the pace, sets an example for all of us when it comes to our belief in the Lord, our worship of the Lord, and our ability to withstand challenges when it comes to the authenticity of our worship. In her previous birth, Parvati Ma was his mother, Sati. The Mahashiv Puran tells us of the ordeal that led her to give up this physical body. Daksha's Yagna, because her husband, Lord Shiva, was insulted by Daksha. No share, no part, no offering was given to Lord Shiva. He was totally ignored. And Mother Sati could bear no longer such insult. And she got up in the assembly and she made a speech. And then in a yogic fire, she consumed her body. And in her last breath, her last thought was, may I come back again on earth to be wedded and reunited with my Shiva. Not long after that, the Divine Mother came into the home of Himavan and Mena. And now she comes as a daughter of the Mountain King. And they name her Parvati. From a very early age, Parvati cultivated devotion for Lord Shiva. Her desire was to wed Bhagavan Shiva again. She could not be separate from Shiva. Shiva and Shakti are inseparable. But this time it was not going to be that easy. She would have to earn Shiva now as her husband. And how can you win over Shiva? What can you actually do to conquer Lord Shiva? How can he be conquered? No amount of wealth that you possess can conquer him. You cannot bribe him, you cannot buy him over. Lord Shiva is above and beyond all of this. And we shall see what it takes to actually conquer the Lord. What brings the Lord under the control of the devotee. Goswami Tulsidas, beautifully writes for us, Vibhakam Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram. From this very early age, when Parvati was a little baby in the home of her mother, they summoned the astrologer. And the astrologer at the time was none other than Narada. So Narada came and they wanted Narada to look up the chart, the birth chart of Parvati, and to make a prediction as to what the future held for her. So Narada looks at the palm of this child, and now he begins to make his prediction. And he begins to say it's a very nice things, that this child is going to be well renowned. It's not an ordinary child. It's the mother of the entire universe that's coming to your home. And she will be worshipped by the entire world. Both her and her husband. And who will the husband be? Well, he didn't mention the husband by name. He said his husband will be also equally famous. And this husband will have a lot of friends. But these friends are going to be weird friends. These friends will be both sprint, pisach, ghosts and goblins and so on. And this husband wouldn't have too much garments, wouldn't wear too much clothes. He'll have some very special ornaments around his body. And one of the ornaments that you will see on his husband will be snakes around his neck. Imagine now, Narada telling the mother all of this, and the father, this is who the child is going to marry. He grows up. And he also would smear on his body ashes, and it's ashes from the cremation ground as well. Well, the mother couldn't take this anymore. This was enough. She just fainted. When she recovers, none of this can be true. None of this can be true now. This was not good news at all. Now, this Parvati in her heart, she was rejoicing. This is exactly what she wanted to hear. Because she's the Divine Mother. And of course, her mission was to be wedded once again to Lord Shiva. So, Narada would give her the mantra because she wanted her to perform tapasya. At a very young age, she wanted to leave the home of her mother and father. That she wanted to go to Kailash. And there she wanted to perform tapasya. To whom? To Lord Shiva. So she took one mantra. See, there's so many thousands of mantras in the scriptures dedicated to Bhagwan Shiva. There's one mantra, it's called the Maha Mantra. And the Maha Mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah in our heart was enshrined Bhagwan Shiva. 24 hours of the day was spent in service to Lord Shiva. मैं जन्म जन्म से करूं तपस्या. Hey Bholenath, hey Shiva, birth after birth I shall perform tapasya to you, Lord. मैं जन्म जन्म से करूं by your side, Lord. अपनी बना लो, make me yours. अर्धांगिनी से पुरानी, make me your अर्धांगिनी, your better half. Hey bathing the lingam, worshipping the lingam, dedicating her entire self to the Lord, feasting only on roots and bulbs and fruits, her body becoming emaciated, famished by such a simple diet. Her mind transfixed on Lord Shiva. All she wanted was Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhagwan Shiva, my dear brothers and sisters, is easily moved by the penances of his devotee. And so, he decides to intervene. Parvati's faith must be tested first. She must pass this test. If she passes the test, then she becomes qualified to be called his Ardhangini. How is he going to test the faith of Parvati? Wow. See, we have been tests in life. If you have to go for a driver's test, for example, you get a license, they tell you, in your practice, you have to, go through all the normal routine, your driving instructor and so on. Then they tell you what day the test is going to be, what area and so on. So you're prepared for the test. You know exactly what the test will entail, you know when it's going to happen. Any other test, the same thing, you're prepared for it. You know what the nature of the test can be like. But when God decides to test his devotee, my dear brothers and sisters, you're totally unaware of how he's going to test you, where he's going to test you, when he's going to test you, what methods he's going to use to test you. You have to be always prepared. You want to pass the test, always be prepared. So that when that test will ever come, then you will not be caught by surprise. This is this young Parvati. Here she's praying to Lord Shiva, day and night. She had no clue that her faith was going to be tested. That Bhagavan Shiva wants to test her to make sure that she's the right candidate for what she wants to achieve. And now he is going to concoct a plan whereby Parvati's faith is going to be put to test. Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 And their job was to test Parvati. So suddenly, she's praying there. These 7 rishis show up. And they approach her. They interrupt her prayer. And they will ask her a question. The question was, tell us, O fair lady, whom do you worship? And what is it that you seek? Tell us this whole secret truly. Simple question. Who are you worshiping here? What is the purpose of all of this sacrifice that you're making? So Parvati, of course, she sees these 7 sages. She reveres them. She bows to them. She respects them. They're holy men. They're Brahmarishis. So she says in reply, that I feel very shy in making this submission to you, for you will smile at my folly when you hear it. She shy. She doesn't really want to disclose what the inner secrets of her heart was at the time. But she says, yet my mind is stubbornly set and heeds no advice. So relying on this truth of Narada's prophecy, I am here and I want Dekho Muni Abhishek Hamara Chahiya Sada Shiva hi Chalta. Narada advised me to perform this tapasya so that I can have Lord Shiva as my husband. This is the reason why I'm performing all these penances, prayers. So when they heard her words, these 7 rishis, they laughed aloud. Now this is a test. She had no clue that it would be tested. They laughed heartily. And they said to her, after all, you owe this body existence to this mountain. Tell us, whoever listened to Narada and has a home. Narada himself doesn't have a home. You can take Narada's advice and come here and waste your entire time and your entire life for me. Now these are derogatory words. See that they are using here to test Parvati, to test the strength of her faith. So they go on that, he gave advice to other people and they wound up in ruin. And men and women, when they listen to Narada's advice, they are sure to leave their home and become homeless beggars forever. And so they go on and on. And now they began to speak. You worshiping Shiva? This Shiva? You ever took a close look at Shiva? They say to her. You ever took a close look at him? You see what his appearance is like? You think he's handsome at all? You ever see what his garlands are, his ornaments are, who his friends are? So they began now to use all these condescending tongues about Lord Shiva. That he is homeless, that he has no pedigree, he has no lineage, he has no family. What kind of bridegroom would he make? How odd this couple would look. And so they said, look, we have a solution for you, O Parvati. Please don't waste your time worshiping this Shiva. This Shiva doesn't suit you. He doesn't suit you. He's not your type. We're going to offer you a better deal. And this deal is, we're going to offer you a nice, handsome-looking bridegroom. You know who the bridegroom is? His name is Vishnu. He is the Lord of the world. He resides in the city of Vaikuntha. And of course, you will be most happy with him. Forget this Shiva. You can worship this Lord, this God, this person whom we are recommending to you, and your days will be happy. Now, does this word sound familiar? You hear it all the time. In America, and in fact, almost every other country where Hindus are present, Hinduism is a minority religion. In America, it's a minority religion. In many countries, the West Indies also is a minority religion, because other religions, in numbers, overpower Sanatana Dharma. Now you have situations whereby, see, and I want to make this very clear tonight, where we stand when it comes to religion and other religions. Sanatana Dharma has no grudge against anybody's belief or worship. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is a very beautiful, very important sloka in chapter 4, verse 11, where Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Ye yathamam prabhadyante tam sataya bhajamiham. That in any way that men worship me, O Arjuna, whatever path they choose to worship me, they will find me. For many are the paths of men, many are the paths, but in the end, with sincerity and faith and devotion, they all come to me. Now, isn't that a powerful statement? You wouldn't hear a statement like that too often from other faiths. What the Lord is doing there is endorsing other pathways that lead to Him. And He's sitting at the top of the mountain. All roads, from whatever direction you take to get to the top of the mountain, it'll get you there. The Lord makes it very clear. So we don't go about criticizing anybody because of their beliefs, hating people because of their beliefs, despising people because of their beliefs, shunning people because of their beliefs. It's not what Sanatana Dharma is all about. Sanatana Dharma, dear brothers and sisters, is an all-inclusive dharma, path. And we don't go and knock on doors and try to convert anybody to Sanatana Dharma. That is not our mission. It is an open book, an open house, if you will. All those who find this philosophy interesting, you find it useful, you find it effective, you find it helpful, then you're free to embrace it. Because this path that we follow, this path that we pursue, has not been founded by any given individual, as we know. It doesn't bear the name of any prophet or any founder. It is Sanatana Dharma, it is the eternal way of life. And the philosophies that are present in Sanatana Dharma is a collection of revelations from the ancient seers, sages, that have been recorded in the ancient text, such as the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Shrutis and Smritis, and all these hundreds and thousands of scriptural texts that we have available to us. And when you put all together, what you have here is an ocean of knowledge. Knowledge that wouldn't only benefit you in this lifetime, but more importantly, in the hereafter as well. That is what Sanatana Dharma is all about. And that is what we believe in. We believe that God is impersonal. We believe that God is unmanifest. We also believe that that impersonal, unmanifest God assumes a form at will to His likeness. Whenever the situation so requires, that He manifests to rectify negative situations in the world, and He does so willingly to appease the devotee, to alleviate the pains of the devotee, and to re-establish dharma to its firm footing in the world. That's the reason for the avatar, the Lord, to come again and again to the world. And there's so many forms that the Lord has taken. In many religions also, He's recognized either as a prophet, He's recognized as an avatar. And we have no problem with that. No problem at all with that. What we have problem with is when we are criticized for our beliefs. When we are despised because of the way of worship. When people will tell you that you're idiots because you worship stone. You're idol worshippers. When people will tell you, because without understanding it, what it's all about, they make all of these false claims on Sanatana Dharma. Now that is where we disagree. Because if I'm going to respect your way of worship, if I'm going to respect your belief system, if I'm going to respect you for who you are and the path that you follow, then in all fairness, I need reciprocally the same respect for my belief as well. See, these scriptures are written, what we're seeing here tonight. This is a devotee of Lord Shiva. And she has a full faith in Lord Shiva. Parvati, full faith in Lord Shiva. She would worship no one else but Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is testing her faith, sending these 7 rishis now to tell her these things. All these derogatory things about Lord Shiva, to see whether she is going to budge, see whether this faith is going to, by any chance, going to be eroded by these negative words that she's listening to. And I have no qualms at all when people come knocking on your doors and telling you, look, I'm going to offer you a Savior, and introduce their religion to you. I think that is fine. You don't hate anybody for that. You have no problem with all of that. I just tell myself, Hanumanji, Shivaji, Ma, these are the separate issues coming to test me. They come to test my faith. They want to see how strong your faith is. So they tell you all kind of things and see whether you're going to pass this test or not. That's how you see it. So they must not be hated for any reason. You must interpret it the other way. You have a nice conversation. At the end of the conversation, you keep believing what you believe in. Nobody should ever tamper with your faith. Your faith is your most sacred possession you have. Your most sacred possession is your faith. And this is what Parvati had in Lord Shiva. You want to win the Lord over, you can only win him with your faith, with your devotion, nothing else. Only with your faith. And that faith should never, ever, ever be tampered with, my brothers and sisters. So here we find these 7 rishis now telling her all these negative things about Lord Shiva. How would she respond to all of this? Now these are people whom she has respect for, because she recognizes them as the 7 rishis. Oh, she says, you're telling me all of these things, but I want to tell you, she responds, I believe in the words of Narada. And he who has no faith in the words of the Guru cannot hope to win happiness and success until the tree. You must have faith in the Guru's words. Narada became a Guru, and he told me this. I have faith in his words. In addition to that, you paint this ugly picture of Mahadev, of my Shiva. If at all he has any faults, and Vishnu is the abode of virtues, I accept those faults. I'm never going to turn away from my Shiva, no matter what you tell me. So she held on to her faith. She held on to her belief. And she says, Janma koti lagi, rachil hamari. Either I wed Shambhu, Shiva, either I wed him and become his, or I shall remain single for the rest of my life. This is my final verdict. This is what Parvati responded. So no matter how much they tried to convince her, no matter how much they tried to dissuade her from worshipping Lord Shiva, her mind, her thought, her devotion was there with the Lord. My dear brothers and sisters, Parvati is teaching all of us how we must pray, what kind of devotion we must have to Lord Shiva. Don't let anybody tamper with that faith you have. Now, there are many times when you pray to the Lord. Let's say you pray to Lord Shiva. You have a problem. You go and you pray. You tell Lord Shiva the problem is. Lord, please, I need your help. This is an urgent situation here. You may not get an answer. You may not get the result what you're asking for. You want certain things you ask. Nothing is happening. No result at all. One day goes by, a week goes by, a year goes by, nothing at all. Then what happens? When these things happen, then you see the faith now tends to dwindle. That's the problem. Because if God is not answering in time, or He's not delivering what you're asking for, then that faith tends to be disturbed. In fact, you can lose the entire faith, especially at that vulnerable moment when someone will come and say, you know what, look, come with me. I'm going to take you somewhere else. I'm going to take you to a place where your prayers will be answered. I'm going to take you because this thing is not working out for you. And a lot of people, you allow your arms to be twisted and you move in the opposite direction. Now, if that happens, you will have failed the test, my dear brothers and sisters. If you believe in Lord Shiva, you have your faith in him, you worship him, you perform his puja, you have to keep that faith intact. Keep it intact. The Lord, there is no prayer that ever goes unanswered. Every single prayer is answered. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is not yet. Sometimes the answer is not meant for you. Sometimes, so many types of answers you will get. Every single prayer goes answered by the Lord. And you think that these murtis are stone and they don't respond and that they have no power in them, you think again. Because I can show you literally where this murti of Lord Shiva drinks milk. Milk is offered to the murti of Lord Shiva in my own home. And you can take a close-up look at it. Close-up look, and you'll see that this murti literally drank every single drop of this milk without a single drop spilling, without a single drop remaining on his lips. How do you explain that? How do you explain it? Happened Shivratri time, this past Shivratri. The stone drinking milk. The murti made of stone drinking the milk. That's the power of Lord Shiva, my brothers. Now when you see, how can you not believe it? So a lot of people say, when you have faith, you don't have to see to believe. Believing is seeing. When you don't have faith, then seeing is believing. And there are many people who would see and still not believe too. Still question it. Say, well, maybe this made us a porous rock, you put it there and, like sponge. So many explanations you try to give. You cannot prove it scientifically. It is beyond science. The only conclusion you can draw is that it is miracles and miraculous. And God shows us his miraculous powers every single day. In every religion, you see miracles happening. These are miracles. Science can't explain everything. Only certain things will have scientific explanation. This universe was created by God. The universe is controlled by God. Mankind has limited powers. God's powers are unlimited. We can't understand everything. Our knowledge is so shallow, too shallow, to comprehend God's mysterious powers. He is all-knowing. He is all-powerful. He knows what he is doing. We can only be his servants. Trust in that Lord Shiva. Trust in him. Belong to him. Have the faith that Parvati had in him. And my dear brothers and sisters, then the Lord certainly responds. You must pass the test. Our Mataji, or late Mataji, Puran, she was a lady of faith. She had similar faith. She held on to her faith and her belief. It was not easy for her. She experienced a lot of pains in her life, pains in her body, excruciating pains at times, broken bones at times. She never ever gave up her faith in God. In the middle of her suffering, in the middle of those pains, she held on even more steadfastly to the Lord. She is an example of faith. And her faith, of course, delivered her. In fact, so much faith she had in the Lord that in her dying breath, she's calling on his name. Now, can you get better than that? Where will his soul go? Our Krishna says, the soul goes straight to his abode. When you recite God's name in your dying breath, that's where the soul goes. But don't think it's such an easy thing. How many people you have known in your dying breath, they call on the Lord? Very, very few. She is one of those very few. Get a chance to think of Bhagwan, to call on his name before you expire, before the soul leaves the body. And that's what she did. Because of her faith in the Lord. Because God was such an integral part of her life. He literally lived in her heart. So all she could think about was the Lord. In the painful moments, she think of God. In happy moments, she thought of God. Wherever she went, she thought of God. God was her eternal companion. She made the Lord her companion. She made Lord Shiva her companion. And when you make him your companion, my dear brothers and sisters, you're never lonely anymore. Even though you're alone, you're not lonely. There are people who are amongst many people and still they're lonely. And there are others who have no companions at all and they're not alone. Because the Lord is walking with you. But when Shiva is there, he's your best friend, he's your companion. And hence, my dear brothers and sisters, whatever desire you may have, whatever need you may have, the Lord certainly comes true for you. So we have a situation here where these 7 rishis tested Parvati. And of course, she passed the test with flying colors. They retired back to Lord Shiva and reported what this meeting was about. But Bhagavan Shiva, he didn't stop there. According to the Shiva Puran, she was passed another test. And this time he himself would come and test her. And he disguised himself as the form of Jatil, of an ordinary Brahmin. And he approached her and used the same tactics here, the same method, trying to persuade her to walk in the other direction, and not to accept the Shiva. And at that point, she couldn't take it anymore. And she said, I really can't. These ears have become so impure by listening to all these fraudulent words that you're uttering. She rebuked him and she was walking away. Then Lord Shiva realized her heart is pure. Her faith is intact. And that was the last test that he revealed this form of Sadashiva and held her hand and said, now, you come with me, be reunited with me. At that point, my dear brothers and sisters, Parvati's penance came to an end. She had passed the test, and it was time for Shiva and Shakti to be reunited. Narine. And then arrangements were made now for this grand wedding of Lord Shiva, Brother Parvati. Now I must say that a typical Hindu wedding ceremony, which we are accustomed to witness, this ceremony is patterned after this wedding of Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati and Bhagwan Sri Ram and Sita. The same steps, the same thing you see happening in the normal Hindu wedding ceremony you attend. This is how it's written in the text. So every Hindu wedding ceremony is a reenactment of these wedding ceremonies that we find here in the text. At this occasion, the bridegroom arrives. Who's the bridegroom? Lord Shiva. He comes to his barat. Who's the barat? The barat were there. There, the Bhoot, Prate, Pisage, all these goblins. These are his friends. So they all come with him. They arrive there and they're beating the drums and everything and dancing and making merry. And they all arrive. Now the entire procession arrives at the gates of the palace of the parents of Parvati. Parvati's mother, Shiva Puran, says she sees this bridegroom in this form and she faints again. And then eventually she comes and Parvati is praying out to Shiva, please change, make yourself looking handsome, beautiful. So everybody will admire you now. So now he becomes this handsome bridegroom. And he appears now at the gates, at the entrance. And Tulsidas writes, Kanchanatar Asoi Varapani. So then she takes a golden, Kanchanatar means a golden thari. Not brass one, gold, made of gold. And there she has the diya, lamp is in there. And Kanchanatar Asoi Varapani. And she joyfully proceeded to welcome Shiva. And then Parichan Chalu Harai Harishpani. There's the word Parichan. Parichan. Yeah, she's Parichan Dulha also. See, all the same steps we're doing here, this is where it comes from. So he, Lord Shiva, allows himself now for the Parichan ceremony. Then he, all the women who were there, they're participating in all of this as well. Then he is given a place of rest with Janwas. And then the ceremony will proceed from that point onwards, where Meena and Himawat will give away Parvati as Kanyadan to Lord Shiva. And he would place the Sindur for it as well. All these steps that we're accustomed to see in the Hindu wedding, all of this was done at this wedding of Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati. Then there was jubilation, there was celebration at the end of the ceremony, like we do in the regular wedding ceremony as well. Everyone is celebrating now, one is happy because weddings are always a happy occasion, where the bridegroom wed the bride, and then they would proceed now to their home to begin their journey together. So finally, Parvati is wedded to Lord Shiva. This was her heart's desire. She prayed for it. It didn't come, it wasn't easy. She performed all this tapasya. And then at the end of it all, we see the fruitfulness. It took years for this desire to come true, but finally it did happen. Then there was a celebration now. Depicting all these poets, depicting beautiful lyrics, the scene there when all of this was happening there at the time. going to wed his Parvati. चले भोले भंडारी करे नंदी की सवारी पार्वती से प्यार करे चले भोले भंडारी की सवारी पार्वती से प्यार करे कैसा भेष निराला गले साजे मुंडा माल ये तो घर संसार बचावे अपना संसार बचावे वो चले भोले भंडारी करे नंदी की सवारी पार्वती से More than two. That applause was for the dancers. Yeah, we can just imagine my Bayan Chi was here and our Mataji was here doing justice to these songs. And the representatives also doing justice as well. And so many brothers and sisters, Parvati's penance culminated in this grand, beautiful wedding between herself and Bhagwan Shiva. So tonight we revel in the glories and the pastimes of our Lord. We pray that Bhagwan Shiva's blessings be with those great souls who have passed on, and be with all of us also who we have left behind. Tomorrow we shall continue our discourse, and we shall be looking at the greatness of Ma, Durga Ma. So we're looking at the Devi Mahatmya tomorrow, as well as Sri Ram Charitamanas. So please come prepared for that. If you want to offer your prasadam to Ma, tomorrow we'll be performing Durga Puja. You can do so as well. Make your offerings to Ma. Saturday night, we look at greatness of Bhagavan Krishna, reciting from Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of Lord Krishna in devotion. And on Sunday, we shall conclude from both Gita and Ramayana, and we should pay a special homage to all our mothers as well for Mother's Day. So that is our itinerary for the rest of the week. Now, I'd like to make an announcement, and that is... Thank you.